Casey again for our last online devotion time. So I'm so excited you got to join us. I have a special guest here to tell us our Bible story today. So I'd like to introduce you to Jeremiah.
Oh, it's just so sad. I'm sorry. I hate to cry in front of you, but it's just, I've got some terrible news. You see, my name is Jeremiah, and I'm a prophet. My job is to speak to people on God's behalf. God gave me lots of messages to speak. These messages were recorded in a book of the Bible that's named after me, the book of Jeremiah. I'm sure that when most people write a book, they hope that it becomes really popular. Unfortunately, my book was full of messages that were extremely unpopular. At least they were at the time that I first wrote them. The reason for this is that most of my messages were about God's judgment. You see, God had given His people the law. This included the Ten Commandments and many other rules that told the people how they should and should not live. God said that if His people would obey His laws, that He would bless them. And if they didn't obey the law, then He would punish them. This was a promise that God made called a covenant. Well, God's people broke their part of the covenant and sinned in just about every way that you can imagine. They left God and worshiped idols. Because of this, God sent me to tell them about many terrible things that would happen because of their sin. One time, God told me that He would remove the people like branches from a tree. And another time, God said that He would pour out His anger, that He called wrath, on the people because of their sin. And then there was this other time that God told me that He would crush the people like a rock crushes, or like a hammer crushes a rock. I gave lots of other messages like this, but I told the people that if they would only repent, then God would not judge them in this way. But sadly, no one listened. This is why I was crying when I first came in. People call me the weeping prophet because I cried over people's unrepentant hearts. Oh, but wait, God also gave me a message of hope. I wrote about it in the middle of my book. Let's see, where is that? Oh, here it is. It's in Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 through 34. The time is coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. It will not be like the covenant I made with their forefathers when I took them out by the hand and led them out of Egypt, because they broke my covenant, though I was a husband to them, declares the Lord. This is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After that time, declares the Lord, I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. No longer will man teach his neighbor, or man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, because they will know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, declares the Lord. For I will forgive their wickedness, and I will remember their sins no more. You see, under the old covenant, people had to obey the law perfectly, and no one is good enough to save themselves. So under the old covenant, everyone deserved to be punished for their sins. But the new covenant is all about the good news of Jesus. You see, Jesus lived perfectly because He knew you and I couldn't perfectly obey the law. Jesus died on the cross to be punished in the place of sinners. Now, when people believe in Jesus and they repent of their sins, God gives them a new heart. This is the new covenant. It's a promise which says that everyone who trusts in Jesus will not have to face the punishment for their sin, because Jesus took that punishment for them on the cross. Even though most of my writings seem sad, they're important to read because they point people to the need for Jesus.
Thank you, Jeremiah. So Jeremiah talked a lot about God and what God wanted to put on our hearts. So I made a little heart with our special memory verse on it, Jeremiah 31:33. And so it says, I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God and they will be my people. So this is something easy you can do at home. Cut you out a heart and you can write Jeremiah 31:33. It's the second part, so I have a B up beside mine. So you can write that down and put it somewhere you can see it so that you can remember what God had laid on your heart. All right, so at the beginning, I said that this would be our last online devotion. So the reason is, starting this Sunday, we will have our children's church services open, and then Wednesday night we will start our teen kid services back. So we still have our 9:30 service, but at 11 o'clock, if your family comes, then we will have our children's church and kids church and our nursery services open. So we hope you can join us. And then Wednesday night, we will see you for teen kids and mission friends and all the fun things that we do on Wednesday nights. So I can't wait to see you. Love you.